Welcome to Significant Figures Practice. If you haven't already, make some flashcards for the rules that we covered in the last section, and then practice using the flashcards. And once you know the rules, then practice using the rules. So I've included some practice items here in this video, but there are many more in your book. And if you need even more practice, look at any numbers or any calculations that you can find and apply the appropriate rules. So you can find more numbers on the internet, you can find them in a math textbook, or in some later sections of your chemistry textbook. So, how many significant figures are in each of the following? So we've got a bunch of measurements, or counting in the case of 30 pencils. I want you to pause the video, write down the number of sig figs in each example using the rules that we've discussed in the two previous videos. Then resume the video and compare your answers with mine. So, how many sig figs are there in each of these 30 pencils is an exact number. So, where I have 2 sig figs written, right? We have 2 sig figs written there. This is an exact number though, because it's a counting number. So this number would not be included in, you would ignore this in determining the number of sig figs in any calculations involved. If we have 30 millimeters, the 3 counts, the 0 doesn't, because there's no decimal place here, decimal point. So we have 1 sig fig. 30 decimal millimeters gives us 2 sig figs. 0.03 milligrams has 1 sig fig, because the 2 zeros don't count. If we have 0.030 milliliters, then we have 2 sig figs. If we have 0.0304 liters, then the 0 in between the 3 and the 4 count, so we have 3 sig figs. If we have 30.4 kilometers, the 0 in between the 3 and the 4 still counts, so we have 3 sig figs. If we have 3040, we have 3 sig figs, because the 0 in between the 3 and the 4 counts, the 0 after the 4 does not count. If we put a decimal point after the second 0, then all 4 of them count, and we have 4 sig figs. And that's essentially what we've done here in this last case. We have 3.040 times 10 to the 3 meters. The times 10 to the 3 doesn't matter, and we have 4 sig figs. So, how many sig figs should be written in the answer to each of our calculations here? Again, I want you to pause the video, write down the answer to each calculation to the correct number of sig figs, then resume the video and compare your answer with mine. If we have 8 centimeters times 42 centimeters, that gives us 336 centimeters squared. But we have 1 sig fig in 8. When we're multiplying and dividing, we need to count up the smallest number of sig figs. In this case, it's 1. Our answer can only have 1 sig fig, so we have to write it as 300 centimeters squared. Alternately, we could write it as 3 times 10 to the 2 centimeters squared. If we have 8 pencils per person times 42 people, in that case, that 8 pencils per person is an exact number, and 42 people is an exact number. So in this case, we have 336 pencils, and that is an exact number. 8.030 centimeters times 0.0020 centimeters. Here we have 4 sig figs. Here we have just 2 sig figs, just this 2 and the last 0 count. And our answer here of 0.01606 square centimeters needs to be rounded to 2 sig figs, so 0.016 square centimeters. If we're dividing our numbers instead, we still do essentially the same thing. Our number answer will be different, 4,015 centimeters. Again, note that I've changed the unit here, so we have centimeters squared divided by centimeters, so that centimeters cancels, and one of our 2 centimeters on top cancels. And so now we have 8.030 divided by 0.0020. We have 4 sig figs on top, 2 sig figs on the bottom, so our answer can have 2 sig figs, so 4.0 times 10 to the 3 centimeters. That was Significant Figures Practice.